Good morning from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Hope you're enjoying your second cup of coffee. Glad you're with us for NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying. At the Charlotte Motor Speedway, temperatures right now 69. Forecast a little bit overcast, a chance of rain this morning, this afternoon. The weather looks terrific, and we're glad you're with us. Steve Burns, Hermie Sadler, and Jeff Hammond. Now, we talked extensively on Thursday. I keep wanting to say yesterday, but it was Thursday.
Yeah.
2 practices. The track was dark yesterday, and to make things even more complicated for these teams, Hermie, it rained very hard here last night. We had a summer thunder shower.
Yeah, and the driver this morning, a couple things on your mind. Number one, hadn't been on the track since Thursday. The track was warmer. The track was slicker. It did rain. We've had jet dryers on the racetrack. And, oh, by the way, we've got to put the hammer down and run our fastest lap of the weekend because this is a 300-mile race. But as we've seen with these cars and all of NASCAR racing, clean air and being up front is very, very important.
It's very important, Hermie, but the good thing about it is if you're Kevin Harvick or some of the guys like Brad Keselowski, our point leader, they're going out early. But the good thing is they're locked in. So the main thing is don't go out and wreck a race car trying to sit on a pole when you don't have to. Get in the race, take advantage of those 300 miles, lean on your crew a little bit. But the guys at the back of the pack, hey, they're going to get a big advantage today. Racetrack's going to be a lot more grippier. They're going to have the advantage of seeing how these guys up front do as far as that's concerned and take some of the information. It kind of comes back down pit road. I think by the time we get to the end of the pack, I don't think it's going to be that hot. We should see some pretty fast times and some guys really landing on the line.
Hey, and we're going to see a lot early because Kevin Harvick goes first,
Yep.
and one of the top 5 drivers in practice, Ryan Newman, in that one car was very fast on Thursday. He goes out third, so we're going to find it early on what this racetrack's got.
Didn't he sit on the pole in the Sprint Cup Series?
Yes, he is.
Correct. Well, our good friend Dick Berggren just celebrated another birthday, and he did so by jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. Happy birthday, Dick.
Well, thank you very much. I'm with Joey Logano, who also recently celebrated another birthday, and he is no longer a teenager, and he has won more poles this year in the Nationwide Series than any other driver. Hermie Sadler has just pointed out there have been tremendous changes to this racetrack since you guys practiced last, with the jet dryers, the rain, the overnight, and all the rest of it. So what's it going to be like behind the wheel when you guys get going?
That's $1 million question right there. I don't know. We're gonna find out. Hammer down, man. That's what qualifying here is. It's tough. I mean, it's something similar we did with the Cup side. Because we practiced in the day and went to night, so the track was completely different. So it's basically just drive it in there as hard as you can and hope there's grip. And the good things with these cars, you probably have 2 laps to make it happen. In a Cup car, you get 1 shot at it. So we'll go at it hard and see what we have at Sport Clip Toyota. I think it's pretty good. We never made a mock run, but in race trim I felt like it was pretty good, so we'll see.
Good luck to you. Thank you. Wendy Venturini.
Well, thank you, Dick. Justin Allgaier made his nationwide debut here in 2008. That was 4 races ago, Justin. We just talked about this very clean racetrack. What are you expecting?
Well, I'll tell you, after the rains and after the day off, it's going to be interesting to come back. Our Verizon Dodge was pretty decent in practice. We just didn't feel like we had a strong qualifying car. So hopefully the day off gave us a good direction as to how to make our car better. And hopefully without being, any rubber down, we'll be able to be okay. But we got fairly early, so the track's still going to be pretty cool. But I think it's going to be a good day.
All right, good luck to Justin Allgaier and Steve Burns. My favorite part about these Saturday morning qualifying sessions, bringing my coffee out here. Hermie Sadler would like this. I brought my Carolina cup.
Oh, Tar Heel love everywhere.
Oh.
That's too much.
I got to get
much,
one of those.
Hermie.
I got to get one of those.
Oh, like you don't already have 10 of
don't.
them. Let's take a look at our AutoZone track description of this Charlotte Motor Speedway. 24 degrees of bankings. Hermie, when you run a qualifying lap or laps here, what part of this racetrack can you be aggressive in?
Well, you got to be aggressive all the way around to make a really fast lap, especially with these Nationwide Series cars. And what you've got to be really careful about or good at is getting up to speed, Jeff, leaving pit road, coming through 3 and 4, just about wide open in these Nationwide cars, because the speed you're carrying to the start-finish line to get the green flag is going to say a lot about how good a lap you run.
You're right about that. The momentum is going to be really important in getting through 3 and 4, which happens to be the corner you got to kind of fill this race car out. But we've seen a lot of guys wreck off of turn 4, so they need to be a little bit careful.
46 drivers to qualify for 43 positions. We'll be right back to Charlotte. Speed's presentation of NASCAR Nationwide qualifying from Charlotte is brought to you by AutoZone. For the auto parts, accessories, and advice you need, get in the zone, AutoZone. And by Loctite adhesives and sealants. Trusted performance proven results. Kevin Harvick, the first driver on the racetrack.
See what kind of number Kevin can put down first thing this morning. If I'm a driver, with the way these cars are impounded and what you got to have for a race setup, I'd be a little bit concerned about the car being a little bit free during this qualifying run. But we'll see what Kevin lays down and what the racetrack has to offer.
Jeff, Hermie, interesting note about Harvick. 12 nationwide series wins on the mile-and-a-half, but none at Charlotte.
And that does kind of surprise me, because you would think this is the kind of racetrack that Kevin would really just excel at, because it is a driver's racetrack and it's kind of tricky, and I think he's the kind of guy that can kind of figure it out. But when you talk about this racetrack, Hermie, on Thursday we saw temperatures on this track up to almost 140 degrees. This morning 92 degrees. So it's really, if you're going to try to attack this racetrack, with the exception of not really having a little bit of rubber on it, it's ideal right now to take a good fast lap around here.
Yeah, he's picked up basically over a second on his first lap from what he ran his fastest lap on Thursday. So definitely a lot of grip in this racetrack.
And you know what that tells me, especially if he's able to pick up here on the second lap any at all, that this track, and tell everybody else, is bad fast. Go ahead and just kind of throw caution to the wind. And he does pick it up on that second lap to a 29.55, picks up 2/10 there, almost 182.5 miles an hour.
29.55. Good job.
Yeah, very fast.
Very fast. They just confirmed it. Let's take a look ahead just a bit. Coming up, Trevor Bayne in the 99. As Hermie said, Ryan Newman in the 1 is very quick. Then it's Carl Edwards, Joey Logano, and Justin Allgaier. So we've got some big hitters up in these first 6 entries.
Trevor Bayne was the fastest guy in practice on Thursday. So this young man right here got him a new sponsor. And right now they're standing pretty tall. They're going to see what they can put together. But he's coming through here in a kind of unusual line, running pretty high through turn 3 and all through 4.
But we saw a lot of that on Thursday, Jeff, with these nationwide series cars. Even the Cup cars in practice and qualifying, usually at qualifying, the white line is the place to be all the way around this racetrack. But we've seen cars all over the racetrack all weekend long as far as getting up to speed for qualifying.
But look at Trevor Bayne right now, guys. That deal he laid down on Thursday is not a fluke so far. He is definitely on a pole run. He's going after Kevin Harvick on this first lap.
Trevor Bayne had a rough week at Dover, dropped a few positions in the points.
Woo! Get you some of that.
Wow.
He beats Kevin Harvick by over a half a second, guys. 29.003, 186 miles an hour.
And you know what's amazing to me, Hermie? Track conditions must be right. That kid's always fast, but this is his first Charlotte attempt in the Nationwide Series.
Very, very impressive. You can see by the tracker, he is all over that throttle and a lot of grip again, as we talked about it. He bags that lap up, slows down about 2/10.
That was kind of surprising right there, but Jerry Baxter and that group over there, they did an excellent job, and that 99 is definitely, yep, you got to put him on the list of cars you're going to have to beat today.
Just for the record, our track record here is Jimmy Johnson, Steve, at a 28.76. So he's getting within 2.5 tenths of that track record.
186.188 miles per hour for Trevor Bayne. 29 flat, the number to beat. Let's see what Ryan Newman's got. As Jeff said, he's on the pole for the Coca-Cola 600 tomorrow. That was his 46th NASCAR Sprint Cup Series pole.
Now you can see the difference right there coming through 3 and 4. Ryan right down on the bottom, where Trevor, he was up quite high coming through 3 and 4, taking the green. Car bottoming out, going into 1. There's that bump we talk about as you go into 1. A lot of cars will bottom out there.
Finished second in this car a couple weeks ago at Dover, his only nationwide start of the year. 8th different driver in that one car since it won this race 1 year ago with Mike Bliss aboard. 29.29 for Ryan Newman.
Car's
Look
still
at the throttle,
bottoming out.
Jeff.
I know.
He is not lifting off that throttle all the way through that corner. He's doing all he can do.
He blipped it, didn't he? Just barely enough to say you lifted.
And right here, you watching 3 and 4, he'll come out about half throttle, about right there, and get right back in and watch him right in the middle of the corner. He'll breathe a little bit. Not even that much.
Not even that much. About a quarter throttle. He lost a little bit of time through 3 and 4. He does pick up on that second lap, but not quite enough to overtake Trevor Bayne. I mean, guys, maybe people will be watching what Trevor did coming to the green, because that's where he, mean, Ryan could not compete with Trevor Bain coming to the green.
Yeah, and you talk about using that high line in 3 and 4. It goes back to similar, like what you see at Talladega, Jeff, going high up on the racetrack, making that corner as long as you possibly can to get that momentum going to get the green flag.
And the good thing about it is Trevor found grip up there. So if guys are watching, don't bind your cars up down at running at the bottom. Keep it up there, keep it freed up. We take a look here now. The 60 car, Carl Edwards, getting ready to come out and make his qualifying attempt. I mean, these first 4 cars are really lighting it up, Steve.
Carl Edwards comes in here, Jeff, 4th in series points. He does have a Charlotte win in this series, that coming back in 2005.
And Steve, he nailed 1 and 2. Made a late entry, arced it off in there, cut across the center. Here he is, he's making a high arc. Through turn 3, then cut it back across turn 4. And look at the tracker, guys. He's making a run at him.
Let me correct myself. 2006 was the winning entry for Carl Edwards in this series, and he beats Trevor Bain.
Hermie, what does that say on the tracker now?
28.88, 186.92 miles an hour. 1/10 off the track record. He could be on a track close to a track record run right here if he can get through 3 and 4.
He's picked up a little bit more, yeah. Amazing. It's just amazing they got this kind of speed in this racetrack.
Let's go to Dick Bergeron.
With Trevor Bain, and he was disappointed we didn't get to him while he was still on the pole, but we did get you. You had a terrific run, fastest in practice as well. How about the race?
Man, I knew we were going to have to hurry because there's a lot of good cars going out early here today while the track's still cool. Practice was awesome, top of the board with our new sponsor, OutPetCare.com, and man, it's looking good so far. We're sitting second. I know only a few cars have gone, but you know, we're happy with that time, and the car felt great too. So that's always a bonus when it doesn't feel like you're going fast. You know you got a good car if you can run that fast and it still feels stable. So Diamond Walter Racing's been working hard. We're just trying to build on everything that we've done the last couple weeks, and we'll see if we can't keep going with it.
Interesting comment. Fast is comfortable.
Yeah, thank you, Dick. Joey Logano, he's fast every week. 3 nationwide series poles, the most of any driver this season. Top 10 finishes and 7 of his last 8 nationwide series starts.
You can see in turns 1 and 2, Jeff, Joey was off and on the throttle. Gives you the indication that his car was not hooked up as good as the other cars on lap 1.
Yeah, he definitely not into the throttle like we've seen other guys today. You see him come almost totally out of it in 3 and 4. So it's going to be a decent lap, but it's not going to be a pole run.
You know, guys, we talked about all the unknowns at the top of this broadcast with the rain. They hadn't been on the track since Thursday. But, Jeff, I think you're right in that these drivers that have gone out early are going to give the other guys confidence. They know there's grip in the track. They're going to go for it.
They should, but again, you know, you have to use a little bit of, I think, common sense. I'm going to go back to what we said in our opening statement. You don't need to hang this car on the wall trying to sit on the pole. The pole does not pay anything. Yeah, you'd like to have that first position as far as pits are concerned, but wrecking your race car as Joey completes his lap and winds up being 4th quickest, it proves nothing. Because if you got a good crew and you got a good crew chief, you can get a good, these pits are big enough here at Charlotte, you can get by with qualifying a little bit off.
Dick Bergeron with the man who's currently P1.
That would be Carl Edwards, and you expect a lot from Carl Edwards when you come to Charlotte Motor Speedway. After all, he won the pole for both races here last year. So, yeah, you did. And every single time this year, it's been a top 5 qualifying run as well. So how about this car? Did you run it wide open, or how close did you go?
I was just telling Newman, I went through turns 1 and 2, and I thought, next time I'll go wide open. And then I got down there the next time, and I thought, next time I'll go wide open. But, man, it's fast in all Ford Fusion's pretty good. You know, I'm hoping that'll hold up for a top 3 spot. You know, I think that some of these guys are very fast, but, you know, we want to get fast on Copart to victory lane. So qualifying's great, and it'll give us hopefully a good starting spot, but we want to win this race tonight and get back in the hunt.
Make that top 10 qualifying every race this year, not top 5. Yeah, still pretty good. Yeah.
Dick Justin Allgaier has 3 Charlotte starts, comes in here 5th in points, picked up a win at Bristol, his first career win in the series. First lap good enough for 4th overall. Hermie, from a driver's standpoint, do you see guys running a preferred line, a preferred groove, or do you see anybody moving around much yet?
I tell you, it's hard to pin down what is the right thing to do, because we've seen Trevor Bain use the top side of the racetrack, getting up to speed. We've seen Carl Edwards pinned to the white line, and we've seen Justin Allgaier kind of using the middle of the racetrack. So these guys, wherever your car works the best is where you need to be, but still a lot of speed left in this racetrack.
Coming up, Mike Wallace, Brad Keselowski, and Brendan Gaughan. His friend Jeff Hammond calls him Brenny. Mike Wallace making his 359th career Nationwide Series start later on this afternoon. Nationwide Series teams in action on ABC. Coverage beginning at 2 o'clock. Mike's last Nationwide Series win, July 2004 at Daytona. And Hermie, Jeff, I'm anxious to get back down there with the new Nationwide car being unveiled at the Daytona International Speedway.
What gets me about those cars is, and I think the fans are really going to get excited when they get an opportunity to see a group of them out there on the racetrack, how cool they look.
Yeah.
I mean, they have definitely got a unique look that looks a lot like the manufacturer's cars that are being run on the street today. I mean, everything about them is just, to me, it's exciting. I think it's going to be a great new start, as far as the Nationwide Series, getting this new car, introduced into the series, and it'll be good for them as we go forward.
I think that's one thing the Nationwide Series cars can help do, is help bring the look of the cars back to closer to what you just drive on the street. Mike Wallace clock seeing 29.74. He is 7th fastest. Like his car is a little bit loose.
Brad Keselowski was on trackside last night, Hermie, and he told Jeff, Larry, and DW, myself, that this crash in qualifying, Thursday night, he said that he was pretty sore yesterday. He said it hurt a lot worse than when he got upside down at Atlanta earlier this season.
Yeah, he picked a bad spot to hit that wall coming off turn 4, right in the middle of the two areas where the safer barrier is, and that's quite a lick. That blunt impact to the right side can be very energy absorbent to the driver, and he'll be sore for a couple days.
He told me, he said, Jeff, he said, I have never seen where I hit so hard I bent the brake pedal, as well as he tore the steering wheel shaft loose from basically where it's mounted, and he broke some of the leg braces loose inside the car. He said it was definitely a hard lick.
And it was a brand new race car too. He was looking forward to racing that car in the Coca-Cola 600.
As he told me, he said, I killed it. And it was not his fault, guys. And one thing right there too, they had a mechanical problem that contributed to that accident. Hopefully they've got it corrected.
Two-time pole sitter this season. He's the points leader coming into this event, the 12th race of 2010.
He was off a little bit on that first lap, but he's trying to rally back here. He got a pretty good lap going. May not challenge Carl for the pole, but he's going to be up there real close.
So Brad in the discount tire Dodge, 3rd overall. Let's go to Wendy Venturini.
Well, thank you, Steve. Kyle Busch has won 3 of the last 4 races here at Charlotte. Kyle, what are you expecting out of this qualifying run since you did not make a mock run?
Just got to get a good lap, try to get a good starting spot. Doesn't really matter where you start, just to get good pit selection.
All right, good luck to Kyle Busch, and despite him being 2nd in points, Steve, he has declared he is not defending his Nationwide title this year.
Yeah, but tell you what, Wendy, when it comes to racing here, Kyle Busch has won 3 of the last 4 Nationwide races, has 5 wins overall on this 1.5 miles.
In a short period of time.
That's exactly right.
And Brendan Gaughan starts his first lap into turns 1 and 2, Steve, way up the racetrack. Looks like the car bottomed out a little bit. For every car that goes, as this racetrack warms up a little bit more and a little bit more, it's going to be that much more difficult to catch Carl Edwards. So probably in the next 7 or 8 cars, if somebody's going to challenge him for the pole, somebody needs to get it done, because this racetrack is really, when it warms up, it loses a lot of grip.
But what about adding grip because of the rubber being laid down? Is there any advantage to that, or is there not enough to lay down?
It may be a little bit, but the trade-off as far as heating this racetrack and losing grip all the way through would definitely keep these other guys from stepping up and running anything below a 28.88, which is, with this new configuration with the car, the tapered spacer, all that, 28.88 is moving around this racetrack.
Watching Brendan Gaughan here, guys. His car is not working like he needs for it to in the middle of the corner. He's having to get off the throttle and stay off of it, let the car roll through the center rather than trying to hustle it. And now, for that reason, he is the slowest of the guys that tried to attempt so far. He did pick up on that second lap about a half a second, but he is still 9th quickest.
Brendan Gaughan will be followed by Kenny Wallace, Jason Leffler, Steve Wallace, and then Kyle Busch.
You know, and he finished second here in this race a year ago. I know it was all about rain and everything, but they did the right things, but he was in position to take advantage of it. So I know he came in here real optimistic that he could kind of come up there and challenge for that. Looks to me like I got some work to do.
Kenny Wallace has 30 career starts here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Sunday, NASCAR race day cruises into Charlotte, where Jimmy Johnson, Casey Kane, and All-Star race winner Kurt Busch joined Kenny Wallace, John Roberts, Hermie Sadler, Wendy Venturini, and Kyle Petty. 3 Eastern, only on Speed. NASCAR race day built by the Home Depot. See how I worked you in there right there, Hermie?
I appreciate that, Brent.
Huh? Worked you right in there, buddy.
You the man.
You're a key part of that show. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise.
They already have.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What'd they tell you?
That he's not a key member.
Not a key member of the team.
Yes, you are. Kenny Wallace, 9th of 10 on his first lap, a 30 flat, 30.02, 179.862 miles per hour. The number they're shooting at, the only driver under 29 seconds, is Carl Edwards at a 28.88.
Now, Hermie, if you'll take a look at our top 5 qualifiers, especially the top 2, their fastest laps were the first lap. Now, Justin Allgaier was the same way, but everybody else has run their fastest lap on the second lap. So basically, we talked about the momentum coming to the green.
Yeah.
They nailed it coming to the green, looks like to me.
All things being equal, if you can get up to speed on your first lap, if you're going to run a really fast lap, it needs to happen on the first lap, in my opinion.
Carl Edwards the quickest in a Ford. Then it's Trevor Bayne in a Toyota, Brad Keselowski in a Dodge, Ryan Newman in a Chevrolet. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
With Brad Keselowski, who practiced 3rd, qualified 3rd at least so far, but we want to know how you're feeling today. That was a huge hit yesterday.
Yeah, sure.
2 days ago.
Yeah, 2 days ago. I'm glad I had a day off in between, but getting back in the car and getting out there and running the solid lap, that's probably the best medicine there is, but I could really tell where I had hit before because I was sore everywhere where the seat wrapped around me. So, you know, that's part of it. Got a solid lap out of it, though, for a discount tire Dodge Charger, and we're going to race hard tonight.
All right, good for you. 78 races in a row in this series. This guy has finished. It was a big surprise to see him crash in Cup qualifying.
Thanks, Dick. Pop quiz for Jeff Hammond and Hermie Sadler. Who is the only driver in this nationwide series field to have raced in the Indianapolis 500?
Jason Leffler?
Correct. He finished 17th in 2000.
I know I talked to him one time about that. He said it was a great experience. I said, you ready to go back? He said, not really.
Got the t-shirt, been there, done that.
Yep.
Jason 9th in series points.
A little bit surprised with that first lap for Jason Leffler. They were really, looks like they had a good race car and race trim back here on Thursday, so I know they're not going to be quite happy with that lap, and he slows down on lap 2.
Well, I know they've had 2 good finishes here in the last 2 races. I mean, they finished 5th at Darlington and 5th at Dover. So, I mean, maybe they've got their race package figured out and they don't really care about qualifying. Because remember what Kyle Busch said? Don't matter where you start. You'd like to have a good pit selection. Don't matter where you start. If I'm Kyle Busch, I wouldn't be worried where I'm starting either.
Yeah, that's Kyle Busch speaking. Stephen Wallace. 5 series starts here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Best finish of 17th. That was in this race 1 year ago. Started 17th as well. Hermie, I've always wondered why some drivers, I heard Ryan Newman talking about picking up the pole in the Sprint Cup Series race the other night. He said he went around this place in a rental car with Buddy Baker the very first time he was on this track, and he said, boy, I'm going to like this place.
Yeah.
And you look at Stephen Wallace, 5 starts, best finish 17th. Why does some places feel comfortable to a guy and some don't?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Is there an explanation?
It really isn't. I mean, same way when I was racing. You go to certain places, like it seems like the first time you go on the racetrack, the first time you even see the place, you're like, I feel like I can get around this racetrack very well. And then there's other places you can go to and test and go back and test and keep racing and doing all that and still can't find the rhythm you need. But part of the reason why a guy like Ryan Newman loves this racetrack is because you run the accelerator a whole lot. He's good at that.
say. 46th career pole for Ryan Newman. You'll see him, of course, leading the field to green.
Too tight. Could have ran wide open through 1 and 2, but didn't.
It's the comment from Steve Wallace. He is 5th overall of 12 drivers. Remember, top 30 here locked into this afternoon's race.
That's one of those things. He goes on the racetrack and the track has more grip than he's expecting it to have, and you come back after the fact and say, I could have run wide open at this end of the racetrack, which could have put him really running wide open versus breathing the throttle is big time speed here. So that tells me there's still some speed left in this racetrack. We'll see if Kyle Busch can challenge Carl Edwards for P1.
Kyle Busch got the first of his 5 Nationwide Series wins here 6 years ago today. And his numbers here, he could become, this is a 200-lap race. If he leads 155 laps, he will become the all-time laps leader in the Nationwide Series.
That still blows my mind to think he could overtake Mark Martin in such a short period of time.
4 wins this year for Kyle Busch.
First lap, basically, I guess, a feel-out lap, and he's picking up a little bit down into 1 and 2 compared to what he did last time. First lap good enough for 6th quickest.
'34 career Nationwide Series wins, just 25 years old. 14 more, and he'll tie Mark Martin. Picks up just a little bit. 5th overall, so Carl Edwards still the man to beat here in NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Heavy rain postponed the World of Outlaws here in Charlotte last night at the dirt track across the street, but they will run today, so be sure to check out legend Steve Kinzer, 4-time series champion Donnie Schatz, and the rest of the field right here on Speed, and we'll see that at 10 Eastern. Overcast morning, about a 50% chance of rain this morning. This afternoon looks much better. And Jeff Hammond tomorrow, I mentioned Ryan Newman and the Coca-Cola 600. The weather looks terrific.
It does, and I think that's going to be really good, not only for the competitors, but for the fans alike. We usually get a big following here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for this event. And it's, I mean, the kind of deal is that you get an opportunity to be at the racetrack all day long.
Yep.
Do a lot of things, a lot of events going on early on.
Watch the pre-race show, saluting our
servicemen and women.
soldiers. Yep.
That's
on
really going to be
Memorial Day weekend.
Really a great thing. They always have a great show here involving the servicemen and women. But the cool thing about it, we start in the afternoon and run in the dark, so we're going to get a chance to see these guys really get challenged and see who's going to really be standing tall at the end. Will it be Jimmy Johnson? Will it be Kyle Busch? Or will we have a surprise winner?
I like the 56 car. I like Martin Truex Jr.
A lot of people are starting to point in that direction for some reason. Or the 2.
Good job, dude.
Eric
Kurt Busch.
McClure.
Yep.
Jeff Eric McClure, 11th overall of 14.
It's a good run.
Let's go to Wendy.
Thanks, Steve. Brian Scott was 4th fastest in the final practice on Thursday. You have a real shot at this pole. You've been watching qualifying. What line do you prefer right now?
Well, I think the bottom. Everybody's been running the bottom, and it's going to be totally different. Guys have picked up a couple miles per hour, almost 2 seconds. It's going to be a whole different racetrack out there at those type of speeds. The travel's going to be different. Handling's going to be different. But I'm really confident in our Levine Children's Hospital Toyota and my crew chief Billy Wilburn in making the right adjustments. And hopefully we give this Levine Children's Hospital a good ride today, get it a good starting spot for later today, and then just have a great race for the kids over there.
All right, good luck to Brian Scott. And it seems like the cloud cover has come over, Steve, which could be a slight advantage.
Yeah, it sure does, Wendy. And speaking of Ms. Venturini, this guy on the pole, Steve Arpin, has 2 wins for Venturini Motorsports in the ARCA Series.
Got a good lap going on lap 1. Looks like he's going to be right outside the top 5. If he can pick up a little bit, there he is, 6th place, 29-20. We'll see if he can pick up a little bit on lap 2 and get inside that top 5.
Arpin's from Ontario, Canada. Hermie, I like this part of his background. He raced snowmobiles on ovals.
Wow. That should give you a good sensation of kicking it loose and bringing it back.
Yes, sir. Youngest driver to win the Wissota 100 in Wisconsin.
I'll tell you what, guys, it'll be a pretty impressive start here for Mr. Arpin because
Yes,
it's
it
his
is.
first try here. He's currently 5th quickest. His first lap good enough to lock him in there. I mean, that's pretty tough and pretty tall order he just able to accomplish. Tony Uri Jr. talking to him.
Both laps through the middle, 3 and 4. Guys trying to arc it and get it down.
Hear him describing what the car was doing.
Arpin won in, let's see, Texas and Salem in that Venturini Motorsports entry. Another impressive young driver, Brian Eichler, has 2 starts this year in the Camping World Truck Series for Kyle Busch. This is a Roush Fenway entry. Colin Brown still with that team and still in that car, but sharing time now. Matt Kenseth has driven that 16 car a time or two. And Jeff, you talked about that. Jack Roush trying to get baseline information to get this car pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, for some reason, I mean, the 16 and the 6 both have not performed. I mean, they've had some bad luck, but at the same time, their performance has not been, I think, what Jack was looking for or the rest of the organization. So, you know, they had an opportunity to pick up Brian Eichler, and in practice the other day, he was doing a really good job. Let's see what he can do here in qualifying.
Roush Fenway Racing with 108 total wins in Nationwide Series competition. 6 different drivers have won for Roush.
The good news about Roush Fenway, Jeff, is when you're trying to bring along young drivers like they are, every once in a while you can throw a Matt Kenseth or somebody like that back inside this race car and kind of re-baseline things as he's way up the racetrack. But he brings it back. But
nice job.
Yeah, that'll really kill lap number 2. He's locked in.
Yeah.
So no harm, no foul there for Brian Eichler. Good save.
Top 30 in points, locked in. Coming up, we'll see Scott Lagasse, Jamie McMurray, and Casey Kane. Eichler, 11th overall. Carl Edwards, the man to beat, a 28.88, 186.922 miles per hour for Carl Edwards. It's pretty fast, boys.
I didn't know pretty fast about it. That's real fast. Woo. I love the way Carl explained it, though. I was going to run wide open into 1 and 2. And then I got through there. I said, well, I'll do it next time. It's hard to make yourself do that, doesn't it, Herman?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, because you just don't know. I mean, it's not that you don't want to do it, but you get down in there and then the car bottoms out. You're running so much faster. We talked about picking up 2 seconds, Steve, and that's when you really get in trouble if you hadn't run that fast in practice.
Good lap, keep digging.
The crew chief telling Scott Lagasse to keep digging, but your car will travel so much more when you're running that much faster. And if you dig the front end of this car down this racetrack, it can cause you a lot of problems.
Lagasse 16th in Nationwide Series points. Let's go to Wendy.
Mortensen is now full-time for Braun Racing here in the Nationwide Series, filling in, of course, for Brian Vickers. How much of an opportunity is this to get some more seat time for you right now?
Oh, it's great just to get back in this Dollar General car. This is one of the races that Vickers was supposed to run, so happy to be here and be racing in Charlotte in front of the hometown and the hometown crew guys that can come out and watch us. So I think we got a really good race car. I think all the Braun race cars are really good in race trim. Loeffler has me worried a little bit with his qualifying run, but I know we all have really good race cars. So looking forward to today's race, and it'll be fun. I think no matter what, if the sun comes out or if it stays cloudy, I think it'll be a great race.
Okay, thanks, Reed. And the last time he raced in this race in the Nationwide Series was 2007. Steve?
Well, thank you, Wendy. Jamie McMurray in the 88 car. That's one of Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s race cars. You see him bottom out there. Sparks
were flying.
Yep.
This guy has been on a roll. You saw the graphic right there. The last 3 races he's run in this 88 car have been all third-place finishes. He's kind of, giving this car some credibility and
stability.
Got up top 10 in points. So they're really getting along well. I mean, he and Tony Uri Sr., Pops, we like to call him. Now here's a surprise.
Shut it down.
Shut it down.
7th overall for McMurray. Dale Earnhardt Jr. ran that car in the season opening race in Daytona. Then Kelly Byers made 5 starts in the 88, and Byers was replaced by McMurray. And as Jeff said, 3 consecutive top 3 finishes for McMurray in that car.
It's that bottom of that we were talking about, Steve, and You know, Jamie's just saying, hey, I got a good solid lap in lap 1. I'm locked in. That's a decent starting spot. And their ammo for that 88 car has been good, solid race cars during the course of a race. So Jamie will have no problem getting that car in contention by the end of 300 miles. Here's a guy who knows how to go fast here, Steve.
I'd say. Casey Kane won here in 2007.
Also set on a pole here in 2005.
Good qualifying for Kane. Qualifying effort. He'll start 4th here tomorrow. The Coca-Cola 600.
You know, and when you look at Casey's record when it comes to mile-and-a-half racetracks and all the wins that he's had in his entire nationwide career, 5 of his 7 wins have come on mile-and-a-half racetracks. So this is his style of racetrack for sure. First lap, 5th quickest.
At 29.13, he needs to get about 2.5 tenths to be in contention for the pole, but it just doesn't seem like the speed is in these cars. The guys who really go after it on lap 1, his tires lose just too much grip to really pick it up on lap 2.
Kane with 3 Cup Series wins here at Charlotte. See if he picks up, Hermie.
Slow down about 2
Slows
tenths.
down.
Yeah.
So Kane, 5th overall of 19 drivers. Well, Monday night, don't miss an all-new Fast Track to Fame. As the talent competition so wild, it can only happen trackside. Watch an all-new Fast Track to Fame from Charlotte Motor Speedway Monday night at 9 Eastern, only on Speed. Idaho native Brian Scott is up next. Jeff, he was really quick in practice the other day, but we heard him talking to Bob Dillner. He didn't exactly love his race car. Interesting phenomenon.
No, he's got a fast race car, but he doesn't have a good race car for the race, and that's what they were trying to work on. He could lay down that quick lap, but after that, well, it was kind of like hang on along for the ride. So it'll be interesting to see if they worked on the car and took a little speed out of it as far as 1 lap to get it better for the race.
Hermie, we talk about that in this series, the Nationwide Series. That's a tough balancing act. You can't rob Peter to pay Paul. I mean, you want to obviously be as fast as you can, but you got to be in good shape for that race.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why in this Nationwide Series it's so important to be locked in that top, you know, in the points and be locked in the show, because you can work on your race trim and not have to get too carried away as far as getting your car tightened back up for qualifying, and you can still be pretty good in the race. To be good for everything you have to be if you're not locked in can be very challenging for these Nationwide Series crew chiefs and drivers.
Yeah, 46 entries here, so 3 will not make the show. Peyton Sellers officially withdrew. He crashed hard in practice the other day on Thursday, and he said that was his only race car. So we expect to see 46 qualify here today.
And Hermie, watching him on his 2nd lap, he really made a late entry, arced it off into 1 and 2, did the same thing in 3 and 4, and he found some speed by doing so, moved himself up to 8th quickest.
A good run for Brian Scott.
Scott has 2 Truck Series starts here at Charlotte, but
Good job, guys.
This afternoon will mark his first Nationwide Series event here at Charlotte.
Every time I think of Brian Scott, I remember that story he told on trackside
about the grizzly bear.
About the grizzly bear and his brother.
Hermie, we shouldn't laugh, but they were hunting in Alaska, and his brother was essentially trapped by a grizzly while they were fishing. And Brian was laughing at him, and he said, you know, I should stop laughing. His life is in danger here. But that's brothers, right?
Sounds like a movie.
You and Elliott hadn't had any moments like that, have you?
No, Elliott might be in the woods chasing after a bear, but Hermie's not.
The bear had to come to your house.
He had to come ring the doorbell if he's going to find me.
They weren't chasing bears. The bears were chasing them.
They were in the woods.
Yeah.
They were fishing.
They were fishing.
Yeah, I'm not going to be fishing or in the woods.
Okay, copy.
If I'm going to be fishing, it's going to be in the Gulf Stream in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean where you can't see anything.
The only time you got to worry about you and a bear is out on the golf course, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Now, I've hit it far enough in the woods to find a bear. No question about that.
Haven't we all? The difference is I don't go looking for mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you leave them.
That's right.
Donate.
Just drop it. Lay in 3.
That's it.
That's right.
Clint Boyer's had good success here at Charlotte Motor Speedway in this series. His last 5 starts, he's finished 8th or better.
I'm not going to be overly excited with this run. You expect to see more speed out of a RCR car and Clint Boyer, but he's locked in, and P16 so far.
Coming up, we'll see Chad McCumbee, Tony Raines, and Robert Richardson Jr. Stay with us. Monday, the Rolex Sports Car Series is celebrating the holiday with fender-banging fireworks when Pruitt and Rojas fight to set a record with 4 consecutive Daytona prototype wins in a row. Don't miss the Rolex Sports Car Series live from Lime Rock Monday, 2 Eastern only on Speed, part of Memorial Day weekend coverage. Glad you're with us and hope your weekend is off to a great start. Chad McCumbee will make his first Nationwide Series Charlotte start later today. Finished second here in a Camping World truck in May of 2008 to Matt Crafton.
Oh, run the top there if you want to. 50. 29, 50.
Talking back to his crew chief, I believe that's Ben Gable on that car.
Couldn't keep the throttle in it, you know.
Cummey 13th overall, and we go to Wendy.
Thank you, Steve. I'm with Michael Annette. Michael, you have the advantage of going a little bit later out in qualifying. What are you expecting? It seems like the track has definitely changed since Thursday.
Yeah, it looks like it's slowing up a little bit. Those first 5 guys, it was pretty cool to sit in the hauler and watch their telemetry on the broadcast. I couldn't believe there was so much throttle. So I don't know if the track's definitely warming up a little bit. I don't know if we'll be able to pull that off or not, but we're definitely going to try.
All right, thanks to Michael Annette. And one thing I've heard, Steve, is that drivers are saying their cars are awfully tight in qualifying.
All right, thank you, Wendy. Tony Raines up now in the 34.
And let me tell you something right now. I like the idea the guys watch our broadcast. I'm glad we can help them, but I sure don't want to get one of them, thinking, oh, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And, and they kind of like take it for granted that all of a sudden the track's got that kind of grip to it, because as we're already starting to hear, the track's tightening up a little bit. Even though the track's not getting any hotter, the rubber that's going down has changed some of the characteristics. You got a tight race car, you go sailing off in there. If you're not careful, all of a sudden you're turning. When it finally hooks, it's going to snap loose on you. You may wind up wrecking it.
I think what you're saying is don't blame Jeff Hammond.
No, I'm just saying you better be driving by the seat of your pants and not be watching the throttle traces.
A difficult thing to do because all the drivers are so competitive. Qualifying's competitive, the races are competitive, but you've got to drive your race car to the limit that your race car will allow you to go. You can't, just because Carl Edwards can run just about wide open, doesn't mean Tony Raines is going to be able to run wide open in his car. Now, you flip-flop them and Tony Raines can run wide open, but you've got to understand you got to drive your car to the limit that let you do it.
And that's exactly what I was trying to get a point across.
I understand. Tony Raines, 19th of 23 drivers to clock in on the mile-and-a-half Charlotte Motor Speedway. Stay with us. Speaking of home tracks, the Charlotte Motor Speedway, home to many of the teams nearby in the Nationwide and Sprint Cup Series and Camping World Truck Series too, for that matter.
It gets kind of crowded. Everybody saying, well, it's my home track.
Yeah, it's the hub.
It is.
This is a neat couple of weeks here, though, at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Everybody gets to stay pretty much at home and see their family and friends, and a great 2 weeks of racing, the All-Star race, the Camping World Truck Series race last week, and Nationwide, and Pit Crew Challenge,
Hall of Fame,
the dirt track across the street. So if you're a race fan, this is a cool 2 weeks for you here in Charlotte.
Model engine builder competition. Yeah. Guys built up an engine in 18 minutes.
That's amazing.
It's unreal.
A lot of fans come down here and they tour different shops, and now they can go to the Hall of Fame in Uptown Charlotte.
So you talked about an engine builder competition. Mark Smith and his guys at Pro Motor, and I work with them some in the Camping World Truck Series, and the engines they provide, being kind of an independent engine builder, as competitive as they are, if you're coming in to get started in this business and don't have the connection with a Hendrick or something like that,
right?
Mark Smith and Pro Motor, his guys do a great job.
They really do. I mean, they build engines for like Dave Blaney and several other the Sprint Cup teams. I know that there's been a lot of success. They've also, I think, helped Kevin Harvick a few years ago win a truck championship.
Well, Matt Crafton and Johnny Salter, those
they
guys
all
winning
run
races.
Stuff, so they not only have guys who can build them fast, they can also build fast engines.
Robert Richardson, the slowest of 24 drivers to qualify, the defending champion of this event, Mike Bliss, but as we said, he was in the one car here 1 year ago.
Yeah, that race, Mike Bliss won last year. They were fighting rain off and on, and Mike Bliss again rain or no rain, I heard people talk about David Ruderman in the Coca-Cola 600 last year. Well, it rained, it did this, it did that. If you're in front when the race is over or stopped, you win the race. And so
you got to be in position.
And Jeff, my point about that is, well, first of all, for forever and ever, it's going to show a W for David Ruderman here at the Coke 600 or Mike Bliss here in the nationwide race. But my point about that is, essentially, there's 43 teams that had the same opportunity David Ruderman did.
Absolutely.
And it's easy to ridicule a situation like that. Same thing with Joey Logano at Loudon. But, you know, if you're watching the race as a fan or like we do, you're watching monitors, David Ruderman was coming in that race. I mean, he was really running. He had a fast race car, and the timing worked out right, but those guys had fast race cars in this race last year.
It's always been a key thing. If you can put yourself in position to win, sometimes you're going to win. And that's all you can ever do is look for that opportunity. Here's a guy right here, Mike Bliss. He's only got 2 wins in the Nationwide Series, and both of them happen to have come here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. One back in 2004 in the fall race, and again, the one he won last year. So a good racetrack for Mike Bliss.
Speaking of David Ruderman, you'll see him tomorrow on NASCAR on Fox. He will start 6th. Speed's coverage of NASCAR nationwide qualifying from Charlotte is brought to you by Tornadoes. Bold is how we roll. Boldest lap put up on the board belongs to Carl Edwards at a 28.88, the only driver under 29 seconds. Guys, that equates to 186.922 miles per hour.
Like I said, every car that goes by, that lap is going to be more and more difficult to catch because this track is starting to lose just a little bit of grip and a little bit of speed. You can see Reed Sorensen have to really feather that throttle in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Come back for lap 1. He's going to be right inside the top 15, 17th at a 29.70.
Sorensen finished 4th at Dover in this race car.
Do you know he's actually got a win here at Charlotte?
In the Legends Series.
No, in the American Speed Association Series. He won the inaugural race here in 2004.
Well, when he was about
12 years
13,
old,
he was winning a lot of Legends races here on the quarter-mile track here in the infield. Or front stretch, I should say. Let's go back to Wendy.
Thanks, Steve. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is in a backup car from yesterday, I should say from Thursday's practice. So how good did this backup car feel late in that second practice?
It's definitely never as good as our primary, but we got to make some laps in it. We were pretty conservative in it in practice Thursday, but the City Financial guys did an awesome job getting it back out there so we can make some laps in practice. And they're behind me 100%, and they're just working really hard. And we're trying to get this turned around. It's been a rough season for us, but hopefully we can get it turned around for City Financial, for Roush Fenway, for Ford, and this team right here. They're dedicated and they work really hard.
All right, good luck to Ricky. Steve.
Thank you very much, Wendy. Paul Menard having a nice season in the Nationwide Series. 6th in points, best finish of the year, 6th at Daytona. He has 2 Nationwide Series poles to his credit.
I mean, wouldn't you say that Paul's been somewhat of a surprise in this series this year? I mean, he ran, you know, limited schedule last year and it was fast in certain racetracks, but this year it seems like all of a sudden he's almost like a veteran around here. He's running so consistently, and as Steve said, he's really solid in the points so far, but he's been right in the middle of several races.
Well, the biggest difference you see with Paul Menard is he's always been able to run fast, but he's finishing races now, you know, and that confidence he's getting from finishing nationwide races and getting some top 10 finishes is definitely, you know, translated over to the Cup side. And I think Slugger Labby has been really good for him on the Cup side, an experienced crew chief that's won some races. And, you know, anytime we talk about it a lot, confidence and momentum on one side or the other of the garage can really help a driver who's trying to get established like Paul Menard is.
Hermie Paul Menard, 12th overall. And we are quickly getting through the drivers who are locked into this race. Joe Nemechek, Greg Biffle, and Michael Annett, the final 3 who do have that advantage. Then we'll start knockout qualifying. Joe Nemechek has a win and a pole here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the 1992 Nationwide Series champ.
Yeah, for those guys outside that top 30, it's time to start eating those tones.
Yep. Carl Edwards trying to capture his third consecutive pole as we see a fan doing the honors on the front stretch. The last driver to take 3 consecutive poles, Joe Nemechek.
I got news for you. That there is a future NASCAR official and flagman. Just get an early start.
He unofficially has the job now.
I'm telling you.
Reminds me of that kid at Dover. He was up there every year for all those years flagging. Boy, he was fun to watch.
Rodney Wise better watch out.
Just want to clarify what I said a minute ago. 3 consecutive poles at this track.
He didn't get that nickname Front Row Joe by accident.
That's right. He did that at Daytona between 2001 and 2003 when he won 3 consecutive on that 2.5-mile super speedway.
Joe and his organization, now they've been battlers. I mean, that's the only way I know how to summarize what they have. They've been able to survive and battle and keep their cars both in the Sprint Cup Series and the Nationwide Series, you know, going. I mean, they've run smart and they've run hard with the limited budget that they have.
And that white race car says a lot about that hunting sponsorship Joe Nemechek is.
I can't believe that.
Greg Biffle, a 2-time winner here at Charlotte, also has 2 pole positions. And we mentioned it the other day, but it bears repeating. A federal law going into effect here in June is going to require that 2017 to look for new sponsorship. No tobacco at all, even though that's a smokeless tobacco, Red Man Moist Snuff. No tobacco advertising in sports marketing.
Yeah, new federal law coming in being enforced, and unfortunately for this team, and they're having a fantastic year. I'll have to go out and try to find some new sponsorship, but I mean, if they're looking for a guy that's going to run hard and a team that's going to always perform well, this is where somebody needs to kind of put their money.
Scott Wimmer's going to be in that car for 2 standalone events coming up. Let's see, the Biff is 15th overall. Had a good time with him on trackside last night.
You're kidding me.
This is North Carolina. Who knew? Friday, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series stampedes into the Lone Star State, and we're there for the gunslinging. Don't miss the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series live from Texas Friday at 8:30 Eastern, only on Speed. As we went to break, I mentioned Miss North Carolina. I had that all screwed up. It's Mrs. South Carolina. What, Hammond?
Just no reason to get off into it. You did it. Okay. You're getting it straightened out.
Mrs.
I'm just a little bit confused. Mrs.
Mrs. as in
South
Mary.
Carolina, America.
All I know is she's not from Fort Mill, where I live.
Yeah. Okay. Michael Annett completes his first lap, good enough for 16th at a 29.53.
15th, the Nationwide Series points.
Okay. That was a good job. Good job, buddy.
2 pretty consistent laps, 29.53, 29.58. Car's a little bit tight for Michael Annett.
I believe the rubber going down on the track has changed what's happened here, because we've had a good overcast morning. Track temperature itself has not really come up, so you got to believe that the guys, every time a car goes out, put down a little bit more rubber. A little more rubber is affecting these guys as we get ready to start off into knockout qualifying. Our first guy on the racetrack is going to be Jason Keller, the all-time Nationwide Series start leader with, what, 500 starts.
Made his 500th start in Dover, Delaware. Speaking of 500 stars, he's got 31 of them here. And Hermie, you raced on a full-time basis against Jason Keller. He's a classy racer.
First-class guy, on and off the racetrack. Raced go-karts, in fact, before we both got into the Nationwide Series. Back him and his dad, Joe, and we've had a lot of good times over the years, from racing go-karts to the Busch Series. Good people.
He was driving the Budget Gourmet number 57 when Hermie Sadler was in the Virginia is for Lovers number 25.
Yeah, he's a One of these guys, a great, gritty, short track racer to start out with. Smart. He would race you like you race him, and had a lot of good times racing Jason over the years.
And you know, Jeff, what I'd like to emphasize about Jason Keller is, yeah, he has 500 starts, but he's been to victory lane 10 times. He was a championship contender for many years at
many
PPC
years.
Racing with Jeff Green as a teammate.
And this is a really good lap for him. I think this is going to be what he was needing to kind of get himself locked into this field. He's 23rd quickest, and that second lap he picked up about 3/10 at 29.77.
.2888, the time to beat. Carl Edwards posted that lap, 186.922 miles per hour. 27-year-old Josh Wise, the 2005 USAC National Midget Champion and the 2006 USAC Sprint Car Champ on the racetrack. One Charlotte start for Josh Wise.
Driving for Doug Taylor.
Wise has 30 nationwide series starts. Best start of 7th at ORP, O'Reilly Raceway Park in Indy, a couple of years ago.
I think you definitely want to try to get into 29s, Steve, to really feel like you can be somewhat comfortable, being locked in the show. So you'll need to pick up a little bit here on lap 2, I believe.
Coming up, we'll see Ricky Stenhouse, Denny Eflin, and Brian Keselowski. Wendy is standing by with a 19-year-old Parker Kligerman.
Yes, Parker definitely wanted to see qualifying get in early this morning because of that rain. You need to qualify your way in. What do you think it's going to take to make this race?
I think we were really bad in first practice, but we worked really hard. Guys did a great job to get the car a lot better in second practice. We did 2 qual runs. They were okay. So I think with a lot more grip today, especially this cloud cover, barring it doesn't rain, I think we'll have a lot more speed. So we'll see. I think that it's going to take about a second pickup, which we've seen from everyone, so I guess we can do that too. So I'm pretty confident we can put in a show.
All right, good luck to Parker. Steve Burns, and I know one of your favorite stories to tell is Parker's school bus story.
It is, and I'll tell it again, Wendy. For those of you who have heard it, I apologize, but it is funny. He works with veteran crew chief Chris Carrier, and last year after an ARCA race, Chris called Parker to debrief. Parker's from Connecticut, and Parker was whispering. And Chris Carrier said, "Why are you whispering?" "I'm on the school bus." We're not supposed to talk on the cell phones on the school bus. But he has graduated.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr., man, he picks up right where he finished off with that practice
and
laid down a really solid lap right here.
21st overall for Stenhouse.
I would say he is comfortably in.
He's got to feel good about that. That whole race team, good comeback for them.
Yep.
29.69, 181.86 miles an hour.
Well, 3 guys are going to go home with the fact that Peyton Sellers withdrew. You've only got to beat 3 now.
Sounds easy, right?
That's 3 too many in my book.
That's right. Well, will Carl Edwards stay on the pole, and who will make the show? We'll find out. Speed into Father's Day at Infineon Raceway in Sonoma for the Toyota Save Mart 350. Visit the speed stage all weekend and sign up to win the ultimate Father's Day race package. You could win a chance to watch the NASCAR Sprint Cup race from the pits and much, much more. Speed.com, keyword promo for more information.
They win that, then come by and see us on trackside.
Absolutely. Danny Eflin in the 07 car.
He had a good run off turn 4. He can get this momentum going to get a decent first lap in. 29.73. Pretty good first lap, Jeff.
Very good first lap.
Second quickest of the 4 go or go home drivers who have qualified. Stenhouse the quickest. Stenhouse ran a 29.69.
Looks like this is going to be good news for Ricky Stenhouse. He's going to be locked in that 6 car once Danny Eflin gets done. But a good run for Danny Eflin in that 07 car.
Eflin from Irmo, South Carolina, about 120 miles straight south on I-77 from Charlotte.
Good run, Hot Rod, good run.
Brian Keselowski, older brother of Brad, the 26 car.
Yeah, older brother, and he's only 28.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just glad Logano's not a teenager anymore.
Don't start.
Yeah, only 5 more years he can rent a car.
Exactly. Or buy a drink in 2 more years.
Are you jealous?
Slightly.
Slightly?
This car, Brian Keselowski, bottomed out a little bit in turns 1 and 2. He'll need to try to finish off this lap 1, and lap 2 will be the money lap for him, it looks like. But he really got down on the racetrack in turns 1 and 2. We'll see if he can pick it up on lap 2, Jeff.
Yeah, he's going to need a little bit here. Yeah, I think you've already kind of touched on it. I think he's about 2.5 tenths off of where he needs to be. He needs to get down in that 29-second bracket to give himself a chance here.
Yeah, first lap of 30.29. Keselowski will be followed by Derek Cope, Mark Green, Jeremy Clements, and David Gilliland.
And Steve, I think these guys are, the type of pressure they're under. It's almost like you need to run that first lap, hit your marks, and make it work, and then kind of go after a little bit more in the second lap. Now, Brian Keselowski.
Pretty hard, huh? Yeah.
I was about the car bottoming out,
hitting the
too
car on
hard.
the racetrack. Yeah, that really not only slows you down, but it affects the psyche of the driver.
Yeah, because you don't know what it's going to do. You know, when he hits on that frame, you're not steering it. You're just along for the ride. He picks up a little bit, but he doesn't pick up enough. He's going to be one of those guys who's going to have to go back to the garage area now and sweat it out.
I want to mention, too, that Ricky Stenhouse and Danny Eflin locked into the show. Good news for those teams. Derek Cope, 6 starts this season in the Nationwide Series.
See that car bottom out just a little bit. Not as bad as we have seen, but you've already talked about it, Hermie. It does not help you to have a car bottom out.
Hermie, when a car does bottom out, scrape the track, how much does it upset the car?
Well, it depends on where it's hitting at. If it's up something in the front end, whether it be the cross member or, some of the suspension pieces up front, it can really, because it can affect the steering of the car. Otherwise, if you got a truck arm mount or something like that, it doesn't upset the handling of the car, but it's certainly a distraction, to the driver. But like I say, you can't plan on all the time picking up a second and a half in qualifying. There's really no way to really plan for that. So you think you got it squared away in practice, you pick up a second and a half, the car travels more, and it kind of catches you off guard.
So Derek Cope, 30.13, his quickest. Stay with us here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. If Carl Edwards can hang on to the pole. There you see 186.922 miles per hour. That's what they're all shooting at, and Carl Edwards put that lap down. Mark Green, the 70 car, the middle of the 3 Green brothers. Darrell Waltrip started the migration out of Owensboro, Kentucky, and the Green brothers followed behind.
You're showing us that leaderboard right there, the pylon. And Hermie, I think you said what? Did Carl came within about 1/10 of a second of breaking the track record?
Yeah. It's like a pretty solid lap for Mark Green on lap 1. He ought to lock himself in with that.
And he is.
You're in, that's good.
Yeah.
Shut it down.
Beautiful.
Get out of the throttle, man.
Green's second quick of the go or go home drivers. Stenhouse is the quickest. Let's update you. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Mark Green, Danny Eflin, and Jason Keller all locked in.
That should have been his crew chief, Curtis Aldridge, hollering to him. That's good. That's good. That's enough.
That's it.
I think I'd use the term no mas. No more.
Jeremy Clements, another driver from upstate South Carolina, like Jason Keller. Clements from Spartanburg, South Carolina.
That's the favorite. That's your favorite sponsor, right?
Boudreaux's butt paste?
That's it.
Well, Hermie and I had a conversation earlier this morning.
Do I really want to know it?
Hermie's just covering nationwide qualifying.
Oh. You were talking about Gold Bond earlier.
I knew, yeah, it's going to get you in trouble, isn't it, Hermie?
Jeremy Clements really looks good coming off turn 2.
You're learning, my friend. You're learning.
What's he learning? Be careful what you say before a broadcast?
Exactly.
What are friends for?
To crank the bus.
And start it, and then put it in gear. Jeremy trying to make his 3rd Nationwide Series start of the year.
Hey, Jug, I need a little more.
At the other end of the spectrum, as far as a crew chief, you'd a whole lot rather hear, that's good, shut it down. But now he's telling his driver, got to have a little bit more. We'll see if he can pick it up. And
First lap, 30-14.
I think he's going to do it.
He's doing it. He is doing it. Yes, sir. Locks himself in on that second lap.
29.80.
There you
go. 29.80, 181.190. So the butt paste special in the show. Looking for a stock car fantasy game? Log on to speedfantasyracing.com and register now for the new Summer Series. Starts with this weekend's Coca-Cola 600. Create your own group or play overall to win prizes. The grand cash prize has doubled for the summer. David Gilliland in the 91, the next driver scheduled to qualify. Sixth year in this series.
Got a nice lap going so far.
Yes, he
Top
does.
15 hit it to turns 3 and 4.
Easy now. Gave up some big time speed off of turn 4 though. But where is my crew chief right now telling me that I'm locked in?
You're in the show right there.
There you are.
There he is.
Because he gave up so much speed. I mean, I couldn't believe it wasn't going to get worse the further he went.
Stenhouse, Mark Green, Eflin, Keller, Gilliland, and Clements locked in. Josh Wise is on the bubble right now. He's outside looking in. Derek Cope and Brian Keselowski, those guys need some help as well. Michael McDowell next on the racetrack, Steve.
Hermie, he was good in final practice, 7th overall. Of course, those guys on a little bit different agenda, as you talked about, trying to see how fast they can run because they don't have that luxury of being locked in.
But you say 7th overall, but the key for him was he was the fastest of the go or go
exactly.
homers.
That's the thing that people don't realize, this knockout qualifying. Of course, all these teams don't have the funding that the other teams do and can't always, you know, compete for the whole race like the other teams do. But when it comes down to qualifying, there are really no slouches in this qualifying. You can't look down that list and say, we got this guy, we got this guy, because these drivers are really doing a great job of stepping up when they have to when qualifying comes around.
Michael has 50 Nationwide Series starts and 5 top 10 finishes.
Yeah, there's definitely no gimmies in this situation right here. I'm going to say he's locked in. Good job. Again, I'm glad to see these crew chiefs getting on the radio, letting the guys know you don't need to be hanging it out. Patrick Donahue there.
29.87. Good job by Michael McDowell and that team getting that car in the show.
But why is he still running then?
Well, when Patrick Donahue said you're in, that would have been my cue to shut her down.
Exactly my point. He slows down about 3.5 tenths on that second lap, and to me, that's just...
lose. 2 lose? 2 lose. But the right rear was out of the racetrack the whole time.
Good news is he's in the show, and probably a loose race car to start with, probably pretty good once they get in race trim.
Hermie, Willie Allen, another driver that was quick in practice Thursday. He has 6 starts this year in the Nationwide Series. Best finish of 15th Bristol.
Driving for Wayne Day and
Newton
veteran
Moore.
crew chief Newton Moore. Yeah, Willie was real excited the other day. He said that Newton had made some good changes to the car and felt real confident with it. Second quickest as far as the go or go homers, as far as time is concerned. But right now, his main focus is give me one good lap.
Pretty good 1 and 2.
Yep.
Following Willie Allen, we'll see Morgan Shepherd, Parker Kligerman, Danny O'Quinn Jr., Kevin LePage, and Dennis Setzer, the last driver scheduled to qualify.
Guys, he is flying through 3 and 4. Now, he used up a lot of racetrack off of turn 2, in my opinion. Just about the same in 3 and 4. But Newton Moore, where are you, buddy? This is going to be a great lap.
Wow. 14th overall, quickest of the go or go home drivers at a 29.51.
He knows he's bagging it down. Good run for Willie Allen. Great job.
Great lap.
It was.
Guess using up that racetrack helped, huh, Jeff?
That's where you can find your speed as long as you keep it on the track.
Morgan Shepherd, the ageless one, on the racetrack now to qualify. He won here in 1981 when it was still known then as the LMS, Late Model Sportsman Series, before it became the Busch Series in '82.
He's going to need to be down. He needs to beat a 29.98, Steve, to knock Josh Wise out of the race and lock himself in. So we'll see if he's able to do that. He ran a 31.37 in practice, but as we've seen, it's a lot more speed in this racetrack. We'll see if Morgan can pick it up and get it done.
Pretty decent 1 and 2 as far as his line and look at his throttle, but he's not quite carrying the speed down the straightaway.
Morgan showed up at the Hall of Fame induction ceremony on roller skates. It's quite an entrance.
It really was.
30.07 lap 1. He is about a 10th off where he needs to be to get himself locked in the show.
So he'll have to run a second lap. See if he can sneak up on Josh Wise.
He's right there at it, guys. All how he gets off of turn 4 here. Gave it back a little bit. Can he rally back?
See that young man who's the unofficial flag man.
Right there. Yes, he is.
Wow. 29.984 to a 29.987. 3 thousandths.
That's right.
Morgan just doesn't get enough credit.
No, he doesn't.
For the man, the age that he is, to be able to qualify and to pick it up and run with these young kids. I mean, unbelievable job for Morgan Shepherd to lock himself in the show.
67 years old to 19 years old, Parker Kligerman. You know what I like about Parker, talking to him last year in Pocono before an ARCA race, his family discouraged him from racing. And his dad essentially said, I'll finance you for the first year and then you're on your own. And he borrowed money, scrimped and saved, and did everything he could to stay alive, and it's paying off for him. Moved from Connecticut down here to the Charlotte area. Penske development driver.
That car didn't look very solid through that corner right there. And I mean, just through 1 and 2, it just looked like the back end wasn't really under the car. Same here. It
Washes up the racetrack, doesn't it?
Not solid at all. He can't get back, you know, car can't make any speed off the corner.
His first lap is a 30.20.
And he's got to pick up some speed to lock himself in again. You got to get in that 29-second bracket, so he needs 2.5, 3 tenths or so to lock himself in the show.
And let's put into perspective what Morgan Shepherd did, Hermie, to your point. Kligerman not driving a Penske car, but you have to imagine there's a lot of Penske help on that race car.
2 almost identical laps right there by Parker Kligerman, and that's not going to get it done.
No, Josh Wise is now off the bubble and officially into the show. So all the pressure now on Danny O'Quinn Jr., Kevin LePage, and Dennis Setzer.
And Hermie, you've already said it. If you can run in the 29s, you can get yourself in this race.
That's right there, that benchmark. That's basically the cutoff. You got to be 29.98 to lock yourself in. So we'll see.
If you really want, if you want to simplify it, you can just say if you run a 30 flat you lock yourself in.
You know, Jeff, looking at the timing and scoring monitor, and you're right. I mean, we normally see Jason Leffler up near the top, but he's one of the slower cars at a 29.99.
Yeah, he definitely was not. His race car looked ugly, let's put it that way. He could not make any speed because, you know, Jason has always been one of the top qualifiers here in the sport. So they've definitely got some work to do, or otherwise, you know, like I say, the set of tires they put on didn't match up to what he was feeling. They get the air pressure adjusted and untape a little bit. You can watch that 10 car. He'll be one that'll be coming from the back to the front.
All right, let's see what 2006 Nationwide Series Rookie of the Year. Danny O'Quinn, he is locked in, 23rd overall. Unfortunately, that bumps Brian Keselowski out of the show.
29.70.
So Keselowski out, Danny
Down,
O'Quinn
you're in. Good job, bud. That's the way to come back.
Hermie, it's difficult, I think, to articulate the kind of pressure that guys like Danny O'Quinn, Kevin LePage, and Dennis Setzer are facing right now. You're looking at the difference between making some money, so in some cases you can go to the next race, and going home.
Yeah, and it's still a lot different for a guy like Danny O'Quinn and a guy like, say, Kevin LePage, because Kevin's here to do a job, to get this car qualified, get it in the show, period. But Danny O'Quinn still has aspirations of trying to get back into a full-time ride and get, you know, reestablish himself and be competitive. So, you know, Danny O'Quinn's got a lot of stuff going through his mind on this racetrack, and to be able to put all that aside and turn that kind of a lap, good job for him.
So Brian Keselowski, the first driver, bumped out of the show. Final two drivers attempting to qualify: Kevin LePage in this 56 car and Dennis Setzer, the final one.
So far, he's looking good because he is on the right side of this green marker. That's what you have to be.
He's in. 29.89.
And that bumps Parker Kligerman out. So
29.89.
Kligerman will not race this afternoon in the TechNet Auto Service 300.
I think I'd hear that. Keep it up. Todd Myers must feel like Kevin can pick it up a little bit more, and he might. He will just a little bit. Moves up to 31st quickest.
No matter what happens.
Well, he's locked in easily, so he was locked in on lap number one. Yeah.
Guys, no disrespect to Dennis Setzer, but Carl Edwards, if he clinches this pole, Roush Fenway Racing would have won 8 of the last 9 Nationwide Series poles here at Charlotte.
So they got a good combination of driver as well as the overall package. Because that's hard to do. That's David Pearson-like, you know.
It is.
And the Wood brothers when he used to show up here.
Pearson-esque.
Yeah.
So we're down to Dennis Setzer or Derek Cope. One of those two guys will be in the show. One will not.
It's about as basic as you can say it. Kligerman and Keselowski. Brian Keselowski bumped out.
And Steve, let me tell you.
Anxious moment for Derek Cope.
If you're standing down there, as you're sitting there watching the clock run, watching these guys go through the corner, you know, if you're Derek Cope's guys, I mean, it's like you can't do anything to protect yourself.
Helpless.
You're helpless.
Dennis has got a good lap going too. He'll be top 25.
Yes, sir. 23rd, Hermie.
29.71. Yep. Good run for Dennis Setzer.
Tough break for Derek Cope. That bumps him out of the field. Setzer, 3rd quickest of the go or go home drivers. So Carl Edwards will in fact start from the pole position, his 3rd consecutive Charlotte Motor Speedway pole. We'll talk to him when we come back. Second pole of 2010 for Carl Edwards, the 20th in his career. Front row for today's race, Carl Edwards and 19-year-old Trevor Bayne. Let's go to Wendy Venturini.
And it's the 4th pole in the Nationwide Series here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Carl Edwards always taking time for the fans. Congratulations, Carl. How good does it feel for your 2nd pole of 2010?
It's good. Yeah, he's a John Cena fan. He's not even my fan. He just want to know if I work out with him or not. But you know, it's it's good. You know, Fastenal and Copart have been behind us, and it means a lot to get a pole here. My guys have done a great job, and that Ford Fusion was really fast, and I'm hoping that we're good in the race. I'm real excited about racing during the daytime here. You know, track's going to get really slick, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
How important is track position for this race?
I think it's going to be very important. But you know, in the All-Star race, you saw the line move a lot. You know, I think there'll be guys running right up by the fence, and there'll be guys right at the bottom. So it may not be as important as it seems, but always getting off a pit road first is good. And my guys have been super fast, and you know what we want to do is get Fastenal their first win. That would be huge, and we need a win right now. You know, we need to get back up there in the hunt, and a pole's a good start.
All right, congratulations to Carl Edwards on the pole, and good luck to him. Last time, Steve, that we raced during the daytime here in the Nationwide Series at Charlotte, 2004.
Wendy, let's take a look at the starting grid for this afternoon's race. You can see it on ABC. Their coverage begins at 2. Hermie, what jumps up out there in the first 5 rows?
Well, obviously Trevor Bain, a good run for him. You know, first time here at this racetrack. He's got a fast race car. Brad Keselowski, Ryan Newman, Casey Kane, a lot of experience and a lot of speed right there.
How about Steve Arpin? Just a handful of starts in the Nationwide Series for Dale Jr.
His first trip here also, guys. I mean, he's doing an exceptional job, so I'm sure he's looking for a big day to try to, you know, make Pops and everybody there, you know, happy about their effort.
Really impressed with Willie Allen there. We'll hear from him in just a second as we take a look at the rest of the starting grid. And Hermie, you mentioned a good bounce back, comeback by Ricky Stenhouse Jr. They crashed in practice the other day, and terrific job getting back race worthy.
Yeah, it's got to be a tremendous boost for his confidence and that of his race team. And if they can just take this good starting spot, get them a good solid top 15 finish, I think that'll be a good day for those guys.
And I don't want to forget Clint Boyer and a couple guys that got to make their way up through the field, kind of starting deep. But here guys are the ones who you know, failed to make the race here today. Brian Keselowski, Parker Kligerman, and Derek Cope. You know, they're going to be real disappointed because, again, their shops are right here in the Charlotte area, and all their friends and family don't get a chance to watch them race this afternoon.
One guy who will, very impressive qualifying effort, Willie Allen standing by with Dick Berggren.
Job well done, Willie. How much pressure is on you, go or go home guys, before these qualifying sessions?
Oh, it's unreal. I don't think anyone till they did it can imagine the pressure, but I mean, hey, that's what we're here to do, and I love pressure, so but I'm glad that's over big time. I'm really excited about our car.
Congratulations to you. Job well done. We look forward to watching you this afternoon in the race.
Thanks a lot. Looking forward to it.
All right, thank you, Dick. Let's see what's coming up here on Speed. Sprint Cup practice and final practice. Final practice starting at 12:30 here on Speed. So Carl Edwards with his 20th career NASCAR Nationwide Series pole. Trevor Bain, 19 years old, alongside. Glad you're with us here on Speed. We'll step aside here shortly. When we come back, John Roberts out at the speed stage. He'll get you caught up on all the latest here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. For Hermie Sadler, Jeff Hammond, who's laughing at me, Wendy Venturini, and Dick Berggren, I'm Steve Burns.